Okay, got something I need to do here, but I'm not sure what it is. I know the stuff I want to do, stuff that I probably should be doing, but I don't know. What am I supposed to do here? Am I supposed to look in here? Let me see what's going on. Or maybe I should be looking in here. What's going on here? Is it in here? I don't know. I mean, is it, I don't know, over here? Not really sure. What am I supposed to be doing? Well, I guess today I'm feeling confused. Hello there. Good to see you again. Name's David Mays. I'm your host for this edition of what I call Anxious to Know, a program about anxiety and empowerment. And I'm going to start out by asking a couple questions. Have any of you had the experience of where there's something you want to do and you're feeling some fear about it, some discomfort? Do I have time to do it? Do I know how? Is it too late? Being a little nervous about it, things like that, and just kind of, I should do this. Starting to beat up on yourself, and then decide, okay, I'm gonna do it. Get up, do what this thing is I need to do, and then feel the energy just shift, kind of turn backwards, and suddenly get this feeling of, I might describe this little 4 or 5 year old just saying, "No, I don't want to. No, you can't make me," and just start feeling that almost angry resistance to taking the action. Have you ever had that experience, or maybe had the experience where planning to go to some event, maybe taking a trip, actually get excited about going, or going to some party, be invited to, kind of excited, hey, get to see some people, get to do these things, have some fun. And yet, as we get closer and closer to the event, when we're supposed to, take that trip, go get in the car and go to that party or whatever it is, and just feel yourself just starting to just gradually getting more nervous and more anxious and more, just, until you just kind of like, almost can't move. Or maybe some variation of, you get to the party, looking forward to going, get excited, but then you get there and just kind of want to sit in the corner and say, "Don't talk to me, you know, you know, don't talk to me." Actually, have you ever done that? Well, I have, and it's confusing. And that's kind of the theme for this the program here, about confusion, feeling confused. Our brains got all these alarms going off, trying to take care of itself, but then it gets, like I said, this contradictory thing going on. Like I said, it just gets confusing. Here, do a little look up the old dictionary. According to the dictionary, the 1930 edition of the Winston Simplified Dictionary, and he said, and I quote, to be confused. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. To bewilder, perplex, abash, or to mingle, mix so as to render indistinct, throw into disorder, mix in the mind, mistake for another. Okay. And the word confusion, the definition is the act of mingling or interchanging or mistaking as a confusion of right and wrong, or the state of being abashed or distracted, perplexed, loss of self-possession, chagrin, things like that. And again, one of those interesting coincidences, I guess, the word, before to get to the definition for the word confused, you got the definition for Confucianism, the philosophy of Confucius. So again, whether that means anything or not, we'll decide later. But anyway, yeah, Now, what we mean by being confused? I mean, again, I have the experience, still do, learning how to deal with it, where I do feel contradictory in my wants. Again, I want to do something that I think will actually be fun, but again, it's in conflict with some beliefs that may have picked up, when I was real young, that kind of looks at the situation and say, this may not be safe. Even though I consciously know that, again, going to some event with a bunch of other people, that it's probably safe to go. I expect to have a good time. But again, there's something in the brain that kind of just wants to. This looks too much like something I have experienced before where something bad happened. I wasn't able to resolve it at the time. So, doing a little research on the subject of anxiety and confusion, it's a concept which, really hadn't thought about it. I'm just kind of thinking about what I do with these programs, kind of come up with subjects, and the thought occurred to me, playing with this little calendar, little device I have over here in the refrigerator where you move a little square around. So looking it up and found a whole bunch of stuff on the internet. One I especially like is from a website called anxietycentre.com. In this case, we're spelling the word center, C-E-N-T-R-E. So I guess it's kind of a British spelling. So it's pronounced anxiety center. It's not pronounced anxiety centre. Okay. So there is a page here where they talk about confusion, anxiety, disorder symptoms. And they say, and I quote, confusion, mental confusion, and bewilderment are common anxiety disorder symptoms often associated with anxiety attacks, generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety disorder, obsessive compulsive disorders, and others. And it goes on, says, common description of the anxiety disorder mental confusion symptoms include, again, you have difficulty thinking clearly and arriving at conclusions. Let's see. Your thinking is muddled, impaired, confused, and disconnected. You can feel as if your mind is in a fog, really. So you find you have uncharacteristically bewildered, perplexed, puzzled. You find you are pardon me, speaking of the devil. You find you are uncharacteristically bewildered, perplexed, puzzled, or stumped. There you go. It seems as though your thoughts are elusive and things that you once knew seem hard to comprehend or recall. And let's see, one more. And you can also feel like you have too many things demanding your attention and you're having difficulty sorting them out. I've had that experience. And to finish up here, mental confusion can come and go rarely, occur frequently, or persist 24/7 day after day. For example, you have episodes of confusion once in a while, but not that often, have episodes of confusion off and on, or feel confused all the time. And the confusing anxiety symptoms can precede, accompany, or follow escalation of other anxiety sensations or symptoms, or occur by itself. Anyway, I like the website. Again, it's called anxietycentre.com. I'll put something down in the description, but the link to it, and I plan to do some more, study more what they have. But anyway, so again, a symptom or effect of anxiety can be confusion. And like saying, get these contradictory feelings and internal struggle going on about, what do I want to do? Again, I want to take some sort of action, which I think will be fun or will produce some desired result. And even though I consciously can look at it and say, this would be fun to do, this is easy to do, this will, create something. Again, it's in conflict with some older belief, again, from childhood or wherever, that kind of looks at it and says, no, this is somehow not safe. And I guess depending on the nature of whatever happened to cause that belief to be put into place, there could be a lot of resistance to it, and again, a lot of confusion. Keep problem so wonder, okay, what do I want? Do I really want to do this thing, or maybe I don't? Again, I have those thoughts playing around in my head, but this is really what I want to do. Most likely I do. A lot of times I hear people talk about, especially maybe more spiritual circles, about listening to the little quiet voice kind of there in the back, kind of just whispering to us, kind of. But what do I really want? And again, there'll be this little voice, kind of like feeling or voice even, kind of say, we want to do this. This is what we're interested in. And again, our self-defense system can get a little, defensive, but it's just doing its job. I've talked about the work of a Dr. Russell Kennedy. I've been reading his book and studying some of the processes he offers and find it helpful. And I like what he talks about, that the anxiety we feel is really just an alarm system going off, the alarm doing its job. And maybe sometimes it feel like it's doing its job maybe a little too well, but that's what it's doing. If anything, in a way, it actually shows that everything's working. Yeah, maybe the alarm system is being a little too more sensitive than necessary, but it's still doing its job. So there's actually nothing wrong. None of us are defective because we're feeling this anxiety or this alarm or whatever. And so that the real work is not to somehow disconnect the alarm, is so more maybe just kind of go pay attention a little more and kind of get a little better sense of what's really being said, and then come up with better ways of dealing with it. A lot of my personal work, I think, sometimes is kind of taking a look at some old beliefs and kind of re-evaluating them. I mean, I, as a guy, as a male, as a kid, got messages about what it means to be a man, and some of that stuff works, but there's other stuff I kind of question now. So like men don't have feelings, men shouldn't be afraid. Well, I say I probably have made most of my personal progress of healing, psychological healing, when I admitted and stuff. Something about this does scare me, and I want to own that and just be okay with it. Otherwise, if I treat my own fears as an enemy, they kind of just get pushed away, and then they kind of just pop up later when I'm not looking, surprise me. So anyway, and how we deal with this confusion. Again, some stuff we learned from Dr. Kennedy, techniques he promotes, I've been practicing and find effective. A lot of times, again, it's just pay attention, just be aware of it. If I'm feeling that confusion or feeling that anxiety, where am I feeling in my body? I can feel it here in my chest a lot of times, but sometimes I feel in my shoulders, even around my ears. The muscles are tensing. And just be aware of it and kind of just accept it. Again, message I got as a kid, boys don't cry, men don't have these feelings. Well, when I'm aware of the feelings and accept them, a lot of times that right there kind of takes some of the tension out, kind of turns the volume down, and then I can better understand what's really being said. And again, the other thing, be aware, be accepting, maybe pay attention to the physical sensations, and maybe take some breaths, kind of go. Just let out a slow exhale. I've been studying some processes. Some of it again comes from Dr. Russell Kennedy, but other places too, about the importance of the breath. How, well, it's important. Obviously, got to take an in breath. The real relaxing occurs when you exhale and exhale slowly. So it's kind of like take a deep breath in quickly, and then go. Just let it out slowly, and that helps the body to relax. And then just have that compassion. Be nice to yourself. Pay attention. There's, in some ways, the alarm is a child who is still scared. Whatever happened at the time. Objectively speaking, maybe it was a big issue. Maybe it was something little, but at the time still felt big. And just have some compassion. Again, speaking as a guy, the messages I got, you're supposed to, hey, you're not supposed to be afraid. Like, okay, good, being kind of nice to myself. So any of you guys out there who may be watching this show, give yourself a hug. It's okay. You're not going to lose your masculinity if you, give yourself a little care and compassion. And at least for me, when I do that, I definitely can feel the energy starts to relax, starts to kind of everything, I like to describe where I'm doing something where I'm turning the volume down on the radio so I can actually hear the music. And when I'm doing that, then I can basically better hear what's really going on. And from there, maybe do something different. I mean, if I still have the confusion in some ways, it's because I'm still trying to do the same thing over and over again, and of course, not getting the results I'm looking for. What was that? The definition of anxiety, of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again but expecting a different result. My little trick is that I'll have something happen, have the anxiety come up, and something on deep in my mind says, "What again?" Well, if I keep getting this thing over and over again, maybe I need to pay attention and find out what's going on, come up with a better way to deal with it. Anyway, I guess that's all I have for now. Definitely be touching on some of these subjects later about how to deal with anxiety. Again, thank you for listening. I'll go ahead and end this with a couple of words of wisdom. Years ago, I was working with a gentleman, a man named Frank Natali. He used to do workshops and retreats here in the Houston area, and worked with him for a while, a few years ago now. But he had a couple of comments or sayings I heard that I liked. He liked to say that if you're feeling confused, it means you're getting ready to learn something. So I guess when I'm feeling confused, I'm getting ready to learn a lot. Another phrase he liked to use, like now, is being neurotic is normal. The trick in life is to find a neurosis you like. So my own take on that is if you're going to feel anxious, be anxious to know. If you're going to feel anxious, be anxious to learn how to take better care of yourself. If you're going to be anxious to learn how to interact with people in a positive way. Be anxious to just learn more and be more comfortable yourself. Be kind of to do things that you enjoy doing, to express yourself. Be anxious to, go out and be empowered. So, okay. Thank you again for listening in. Again, enjoying doing this. Definitely a stretch for me. I'm getting to practice what I preach. And with that, we'll go ahead and end it. And again, thank you. Stay tuned with more to come. And we'll talk to you soon.